name is Dana, and you've met Mary. Welcome. Thank you for your support of the CELT conference. We're super excited that you're joining us this year, and we want to support you guys as much as we can. In the past, we've been doing this for 3 years. The first year it was a different virtual environment, and that was a little bit messy. So we went to Whova. And so it was a good experience last year, but we were just trying to figure out how to do scheduling. So our exhibitors didn't get the benefit of really knowing how to use it. So this year you're coming in at the right year, and we've got Robert here from Whova, and they've added things as well. So we want you to be informed, but not overwhelmed. So hopefully this half an hour will be worth your time, so you can kind of get a vision of how you can get leads and how you can have a strong presence. So with that, I have in the chat, I'm going to put in the chat a link to our agenda so you can follow along. That link is also in the Google invite that I sent to you. And okay, so first off, if you have handouts, we're going to ask you not to upload to Whova because last year we would prefer. Hi, Erin, good to see you again. We are going to hold on to any flyers or anything that you want to share with the participants, and then we'll have links, and so we can put those links within the text in your booth text. So if you have anything, we're not going to upload it to Whova for various reasons. It's kind of expensive. And so that's how we're going to do that. So there's a link and you should have access to that. Okay. Do you think you're going to have handouts for the participants, just so we can look for it? You could nod, yes, no. Yeah, great. Okay, super. B, if you have you have the opportunity to run a raffle, and if you have questions, Robert can help us with how we do that. So you can, the raffle will be a button on in your booth. Robert, is this the promotion? Is the raffle the same thing as a promotion or a different button?
Yeah, and I'll go over it in a second,
Okay.
but there'll be 3 options. It could be either a raffle, a giveaway, or a coupon.
Okay, perfect. So with that raffle, that will be within your booth, and you will have it choose a person. But if you would like to announce the winners on stage, that would be a great it's a great way for everyone in our conference to hear about your organization. So you just have to tell us what it is that you're raffling, and what day you want it. You can have 2 raffles, one on Friday, one on Saturday. So you guys all have options. Put your name, a way to communicate that. If you want to raffle something, put your company and your name on this agenda and tell us if it's going to be Friday or Saturday or both. Is that clear? Okay, this is a good way to communicate it. You can email it, but if you put it here, we'll be able to see it very quickly. Thirdly, we're going to do like a homemade scavenger hunt. And so I'm going to share my screen here for you. Each participant will get a link to this Google form, and they're going to read that they're welcome to this scavenger hunt. And we encourage everyone to pop into the exhibitor booth and say hello and get their password. And this password, once they get them, they're going to write what the password is in each of these blanks here. And when they submit them, then we get, I'll get the spreadsheet, and then we will do that drawing on Saturday night. So this is our way of trying to get people to go to the exhibitors booth. We're trying to support you and get you as much traffic as we can. So in order to have a password, we want to have all the passwords mean peace, but in different languages. So if you can put you can choose what you want your password to be. So when people go to your booth, they're going to get this password. We're going to talk to Robert to figure out how we're going to interact. That word might be in the text of your in the description on the booth, or we still have to figure out where that is going to be. And so we don't mean, yeah, hopefully it's not too confusing, but we have a couple weeks to figure this out. Are there any questions? Cool. Okay. All right. And so, yeah, you could just type right in here your password. Okay. All right. And that is all I have. I'm going to stop sharing now. Okay.
All right,
Mark, no
perfect.
questions? Everyone's good? Aaron, good? Okay. Aaron, you're not in there yet because you haven't signed up. So you're just testing out the water still, right? Okay, cool. Okay, Robert, you're on.
Perfect. Well, thanks for discussing that, Dana. And just kind of running through this, anyone that's on Whova or like is an exhibitor on Whova already, are there any general questions before we get started, like on the booth, in terms of setting anything up?
No questions here.
Perfect. So let me just share my screen really quick. So I'll share this with Dana, but this is also going to be a guide that I believe you'll have access to. It's pretty much going to be an exhibitor guide where you can see there's a video in here that just goes over how you can use your booths to, collect more leads and generate more traffic. So there is a video that goes over it, but there's also a kind of step-by-step guide just in case you want to read how that looks like in here. First, the form that Dana will send over, or the organizing team, is going to be for your booth. You might have it already, but once you receive access to that link, it will look pretty similar to this that you'll see over here. I'm just opening up an example of what it will look like. The first thing on the left-hand side is you'll see your promotional offers. So here's where you can select from, if you're doing a raffle, a giveaway, a coupon code. So if you are doing that raffle, you can put a description for it. If you're doing a giveaway, and then if you're using the coupon, the only difference here is you can, choose if you have a limited number of coupons available, or if you have unlimited. Most people have unlimited, but if you do have a coupon that's only, 10 uses or 20 uses, then you can put that in here and then put the promotional details as well. And so how will this look like on the front end side for the attendees?
Really quick, can I ask about the raffle and the giveaway? What's the difference between a raffle and a giveaway?
So there's not too much difference here. We're assuming that if you choose a raffle or a giveaway, you'll put in the details in here, and it's probably going to be more of a thing that the exhibitors speak with the organizers about. So there won't be too much functionality on the platform side. Essentially, when people are visiting the booth and putting in their information for the leads, you'll receive a list of all the attendees that are sent in as leads. And if you're doing the raffle on the platform, you can randomly assign or randomly choose like winners from that list. And then you can announce it on the platform or in person, however that's going to work. And then, that's how the attendees will find out about it.
Okay, thanks. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah. So once you set these promotional offers up, the way it will look like on the platform will be that the attendees will be able to click into your booth over here. As long as there's an offer available, then the attendees will be able to click on a button. So here you can, the organizing team can change what this button says. For this event, they put contact us. And then when you click on it as an attendee, your information automatically pops up. When you click send, then that's when the exhibitor gets that lead. So if you want to put, instead of contact us, like promotional offers or coupon code or any kind of wording that you think will be best for the exhibitors, that will be the button that the attendees will click on to get that lead sent over to the exhibitor. And that's how it'll look like on the virtual end. But in terms of in-person, how that's going to look like, this guide will also go over what the in-person will look like for the organizing or for the exhibitor side for the lead generation. But there's also a PDF guide on how this looks like for in-person lead generation. So first, we'll just have the basic information on how you're going to get signed into the platform. Pretty much as long as you're using your email that's on the exhibitor booth, you'll be able to use this feature. And this feature is going to be the lead generation. So you'll see a little highlighted option over here for scanning QR codes or adding the lead manually. And once you click on that option in there, you can kind of see what that looks like in here, but I'll also share the link to this. But there'll be two different options. One will be recording that lead manually, and then the second will be to scan the QR code for the attendees. So once you choose the QR code, it will just open your phone's camera. From there, you can scan the attendee's QR code, and that will just transmit the attendee's name and email directly to your lead list. So that way it will just save. You can give the attendee a coupon or whatever you're offering at that booth. And so that's how the lead generation will work if you're doing the QR code scanning.
Robert, can I interrupt you real quick, just so they understand where that QR code, like where the attendees will get that from? And that, yeah, that will be on their phone if they've logged in, but also we're planning on printing out badges because Robert told me how Whova, creates name badges. So everyone will have a QR code as they're walking around. So you could just scan them as they walk by and then you can get a lead from them. So that would be fantastic.
Yeah. And so for attendees that are having questions on like, hey, how do I access my QR code? If they lost their name badge or something, then they'll just go to their mobile app, click on their contact information and QR codes like you'll see on the screen over here. And then that will just show the QR code so that you as an exhibitor can scan it. But if it's just on the name badge, then you'll just scan that QR code and the same process, you'll still get that lead generated into your list. That'll be how the leads are generated. There's
Robert,
also
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So the QR code and the information that they put in goes into a list that is generated in this program
Correct. So
that we can
kind of
download later.
Yeah. So in
Okay.
here, this is an example of what it looks like once you've collected some leads. So here you'll see like 54 leads. You can click export, and once you're exporting that, it's pretty much just going to ask for your email or the email that you want to send the leads to. Once you do that, you'll receive an email, and it'll be an Excel sheet with all this information. So you can just download that, save it wherever you need to, or plug it into whatever CRM system or things that you're using for it.
And you can do lead retrieval from your phone, which I see this is your phone. Can you also do that on the desktop, or is it only on the phone?
It would be mostly on the phone. For the website, if you did have a computer out, the attendees would mostly have to do that work. That's when they would go into the booth, click on the button underneath the exhibitor booth for like this over here, and then they'd have to send in that information. So it's more on the attendee side on the online version versus in person. The exhibitor has a little bit more like, hey, I'll scan your QR code. And that's how they get the lead.
Right, but as an exhibitor receiving the list, I saw that you could do it on the phone, but could they also
Oh yeah, so like receiving.
exhibitor? Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, receiving the export list. I believe once the because this one's just a testing dashboard.
Okay.
But once you have leads in your booth, the exhibitors can log in on the desktop, and on the bottom left-hand side, you'll see that there's like my stuff. You can see like your profile and things like that. But if you're here as an exhibitor, you're also going to have a button that says, I believe it's like exhibitor booth information.
Okay.
And from there, they can access their booth, edit any information, but they can also do the lead retrieval directly online as well.
Great, thanks.
Let me just see if I do think I have a dashboard that has an example of what that looks like. But any questions on any of that so far on the platform end?
Oh,
Cool.
Then I'll also be sending a lot of this information as well. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, so in this, this is like the web version of a different dashboard, but essentially you'll see your leads kind of like this over here. So you'll see the information, the time that it was collected. You can also add leads manually as well here. So you can put in their name and email, put additional notes in here as well. And then once you're ready to go, you can export your leads. And on the desktop version, it will just lead you to download. It won't even ask for your email. Since you're on a computer, it will just give you that Excel download that you can open up whenever you're ready. That's how the lead retrieval will work. Let me just jump back to the meeting notes just to make sure I can go over those things as well. So let's see here. So in that exhibitor booth, when you're adding your promotional offers, you can also add additional information. The big thing we can also do is you can add product videos in here. We recommend if you have like a existing video from YouTube or Vimeo, you just add that video link in since it's pretty easy to do in here. You'll just copy that link, click save, and then once you're done saving all the information, your video will start playing whenever the attendees click into your booth if it's online. But even in person, if they click on your booth, there'll be that video will just start playing in here. I think for this one, they put in a live stream link, but you can put in a recorded video however you want to do so. So it's pretty useful to put in any recordings that you have, and you can do that all in that form in here. And even if you need to change something, you can always go back to this form, update the video, or you can also do it on the desktop version as well whenever you go to your exhibitor hub. So here, if you click on edit booth, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have a question really quick. Okay, so first of all, I really highly suggest that you guys have some kind of a video, because I just learned from Robert today that your booths are live right now. If there's a participant that wants to look around, they can see your booths, and people are going to have access to these booths 3 months after our event ends, which is, I believe, like March, April, May, June, till June 30th. So if they click on and they are hearing your video, it's great. So that's like at least 4 or 5 months of advertisement marketing. Robert, I'm hesitant to have them upload handouts, because last year I think we get like 10 handouts and then there's an extra charge that we had to pay. So
Oh,
can I turn that off, or like, yeah, it
yeah, I
was
wanted to. Yeah, I was gonna save that for later. But the handouts, you do have 10 for the event for like the agenda and the resources. But actually the exhibitors and sponsors, those handouts are kind of exempt from that limit. So even if you have 10 exhibitors or 10 sponsors, they can still upload up to 2 PDFs, and it's not going to affect your storage in any way. So it won't count towards like your event spend.
Okay, so it was the presenters that we got charged for. Okay, so that's good to know. Exhibitors, go ahead and upload there, then that's fine. And that way people, that's great. Thank you for clarifying that. So go ahead and
That's up to 2, correct?
yeah.
Yeah, so I think that dashboard was different, but yeah, you'll see something like this, maximum of 2 handouts with a 10 megabyte file size limit.
Okay, can you click on add product video again, because there were 3 different, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so the video could be, oh, with the file. Okay, never mind. That makes sense. If they uploaded a file, that's a lot
Yeah,
of storage. So you're telling me that the storage for the exhibitors do not count against the organizations?
the documents don't, the video storage does. So that's where I would say, like, if you have
Okay.
a video link, I recommend doing that.
Okay.
Or, if you do use a uploaded file, then it will count towards the storage. And then that, yeah, so these 2
Good to
options
know.
will take up storage here, but this one won't.
Okay. So if anybody needs help creating a YouTube link or Vimeo, we can help you with that yeah, if you need help with that. But yes, let's go ahead. Is there any way to take the other two options off, or we'll just tell them? Because this
Yeah,
is
it's
all of ours.
yeah, it's just programmed in, so I don't think we can like disable the other two,
Okay.
but you can, and I can show you later, but there are some limitations you can do on the organizer's end for those videos.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Let's see here. And then in terms of interacting with people that are visiting the booth in real time, so let's go over here really quick. This is kind of what the view is going to look like on the desktop version for the attendees as well. So for the attendees, what they really can do is they can chat with you. So as you get a new visitor, you will receive a notification, but you won't know who is visiting unless that attendee puts in something in the chat for the booth. That's when their profile will appear with it, and that's where you can interact with them directly on this chat. So that's one way you can interact with the attendees in real time. The other option will be if the attendees see the booth staff. So if you add additional booth staff to your booth, and say the attendee clicks on send message to one of the booth staff people, then that person will get that message directly on the platform. And from there, they can have a one-on-one conversation with the attendee using the messages on the platform side. That'll be how the live interaction will go, at least when it comes to messages in the booth and people that are visiting the booth in real time. Here. And yeah, and so when it comes to promoting the booth, the big areas were really the promotional offers that we kind of looked at over here, but pretty much anything else that you want to kind of build in on the like your logos and your banners, you can customize that as well, like putting in a company description, photos from the event as well, or photos for your booth as well, sorry. And again, these don't have any limitations besides what you see here. It's not going to count towards anything on the main platform side. But that's kind of like the areas that you can upload information to for your booth. So that's the promotional offer. And yeah, if Dana, if you want to go over the announcements or start off, and I can kind of talk about how that works as well.
Okay. Just for well, okay, so the only way that the person in the booth is going to interact is through that chat real time, so everyone could see it. It is possible for somebody, for an attendee to click on the send message, but there is a chance for the video. And so that was a little bit unclear, Robert, when we were talking how the video interaction will work. So if you can explain that, that'd be great.
Oh, okay, like the live stream version.
Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, so in the form, you'll notice there's also, besides the product video, there's a live product demo. And let's see here, if you do a live virtual product demo, you'll put in the title for that demo in here for that workshop. So we can do, workshop at 2 p.m. or whatever you want to call it. From there, you'll put in the link that you're using. So if you're using Zoom, Vimeo, YouTube Live, Microsoft Teams, you can put in that link in here. You'll just copy it, paste it. And then below that, you'll choose when the stream time will be. So these will just match with when the event dates are. And so if your event is a month long, you can choose a time, choose a date that works best for everyone. Time zone as well, just in case you want to match it to a certain time. And once you click save, the live product video will be ready to go. And essentially, when attendees visit the booth, they'll see a new tab that says live product demo. So here you can see if they, you'll see the time that it starts. So September 23rd, for example, the attendees will then be able to RSVP for it, put it on their calendar. And then once it's time to start that live stream will start playing on the top page here, as long as it's in the time frame that you specify. So if it's at 4 p.m., for example, on today's date, then this box will start with the live stream. Attendees will click play, and it will just start playing directly on the platform. I think they kind of put something else in this link so it's not working as it will with your events, but that's where the video will be streaming for virtual attendees that are looking at the booth.
So that timing, it looks like we could actually make it from March 1st to March 30th, and then anytime somebody actually goes in, they'll be able to show up. Like the live stream will work. I mean, it's confusing for an attendee because we're not going to be there 24/7. So that's the problem with having it. Like, say we wanted it both days of the conference, so anybody could live stream anytime. But if nobody's there, like during a session, then they'll be confused. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. So it's pretty much just going to have, like if you're using Zoom, for example, it's just going to be like an open link that you have in here from whatever time you designate. So if you have it open for 2 days and an attendee joins in, the person whose link it is will see a notification on their email or like on Zoom, and they can start that meeting or join in to, chat with the attendee live. But if that person doesn't see that message or doesn't start the meeting,
Yeah.
then the attendee will kind of just be waiting there and nothing will happen.
Okay. So that's something for you all to think about, if you want to have somebody there all the time, or if you want to just select a certain time. And if you look at our schedule, we're inviting people to come to the exhibitor hall during the 15-minute segment increments between the sessions. They can come during the session, but yeah, it's up to you if you want to go to some of the sessions or if you just want to be there for the entire 4 hours on Friday and Saturday. That will be up to you. Okay, so that was the first way, and I think, did you say that there was a second way to do video? I think maybe, was it through Meetup or something, or I don't know.
Or
Oh yeah.
there is the in-person product demo. In case there is a in-person product, you'll just do the same process, but instead of a video link, you'll do the location. The second option, I think you were referring to, like the community board meetups. That would be if you go into the community board. You can even do this now, like since the event should be published. There is a tab here called Meetups and Virtual Meets that you can go into. You can suggest a meetup by clicking down at the bottom of this page and then choose how that meetup will look like. So if you're doing a in-person meetup or a virtual one, you'll put that in here, you'll click next, and then from there, you'll put a title in, put a description, the meeting options. And what that means is that you have 3 different options for putting in your meeting link. One is connecting your Zoom accounts, and the other is using the external meeting link. So if you're using like Teams, WebEx, or anything else, you can use that link as well. And then the third option is Whova's built-in video conferencing. This is from our platform side, so we provide the live streaming, so you don't have to make a video link. The only thing to note is that there is a 20-person cap when you're doing this, and the meetings can be up to 60 minutes. But beyond that, you'll choose the start time for that meetup. You'll choose the date and time over here, the duration, and then just match that time zone so that when you click next and save that meetup, any attendee that sees it on this list. So for example, if you do like here's a pretty close example, like a sponsor meetup, the attendees can see what time it is, they can join, they can RSVP for it. So that way, once you start that meetup, the attendees that have RSVP'd will get a notification, and you'll all have a virtual meetup going on at that specified time. That's how that meetup function works. And it's different from the live product demo just because this is more on the community board side. So attendees would have to, they'd be on the community board and they'd see an upcoming meetup. And then that's where they can choose to RSVP for it. Or if it's even going live, they can click into it and then just start joining into the meeting and then just kind of join from there. Any questions on that or anything else that we've gone over so far? Let's see here. So I think that goes over the live streaming, the chatting with attendees. So if I missed anything else, I know we went over leads and how to export those as well.
Mhm.
Missed anything else, feel free to jump in, or let's see here.
Okay, I could just about promoting your booth. So just to review what you might know already, by being an exhibitor, you get a booth and all the things that Robert has explained it does. We'll also, you can have a discussion question and we'll pin it. So that will be at the very top. So whenever people open discussions, you can put one question or have a conversation that you guys want to host, your choice if you want to or not. We're also offering, I'm going to say this, but it's kind of late in the game. If you want to have a session that you would like to talk for 30 minutes, the schedule has already been published, but if you're interested in that, please talk to myself, Mary, or Natalie, and we can figure out where we could put you in there. And lastly, I talked to Robert about this today. The CELT team will send out up to 2 emails to everybody, all the participants. You can choose the day between March 1st and March 30th and tell all the participants about your product. And we can have anybody that responds to that email go to your email address. And within that email, you can send them to your booth, or you can send them to your website, and you'll have the lead, because if they respond, you'll have that email address. And so those are the things that we offer to you as an exhibitor. That's for virtual. For those of you that have done both virtual and in person, you will also have a table in Portland. So any questions about that? Okay. And then I think the last one is just social media. Robert, what does Whova offer them to tell people about this conference on social media, the exhibitors?
Sorry about that, was muted. In terms of social media, let's see here if I can show you. Once you make a change, let me just double check that this is a testing dashboard. Okay, so you won't see it here, but essentially once you save your information to your booth, there'll be a little pop-up that you'll see. So it will be on the screen, but it will say like, hey, do you want to promote your, booth to social media? I believe it will have a LinkedIn link, a Twitter link, and a Facebook link. And from there, we'll have like a kind of like a stock image on the event saying, hey, I'm going to be an exhibitor at this event. And then you can promote that to your followers on any of those platforms. So those are going to be, that's kind of the biggest way that social media integration works. I'll send, and I'll probably show Dana how that could be set up on the backend system, because it's more on the dashboard side.
I see.
Let me see if I can kind of show you what that looks like on this EMS page here. But one thing that the organizers can do is they can kind of create their own stock images, so that the exhibitors can use that as an image to promote to the attendees. The stock ones that I mentioned are kind of like this, where they have like the event logo, the event name, the dates. So that's kind of how they look
Oh,
like
cool.
over here. Yeah, so we test these out a lot, so these aren't like finalized, and these can be very different. Yeah, this is a little bit more of how
Okay.
they can look like. Yeah, so this will be done mostly on the backend side. But once you do finish filling out that form, that's where you can, this page will be where you can post things on social media. You just won't see it here just because this event isn't live. It's just a testing dashboard that we use.
Okay. So maybe Mary and I can work on that, or Mary could do graphic design and make that available for you guys. Maybe. Yeah. One of us will. Great.
Yeah, and that could be done. That'll be again in the marketing tab when you go down to social media center. And if you scroll down to the bottom, social media content library, you can kind of customize additional images that you want your speakers exhibitors to share when they put in information. So these are some examples of what you can customize. And then below we have like more stock images that you can utilize as well.
Okay, perfect.
So that's how the social media integration will work on that end.
All right. Robert, thank you so much for helping us. It seems so simple when you presented it. There's so many things that Whova, ways that we could promote our speakers, our exhibitors. So it doesn't sound so complicated now. Are there any questions?
None here.
If we do run into a bug, who do we contact? Do we contact you, Dana, or Mary, or Robert? What should we do?
Good question. The answer is, it depends what kind of question it is, but first line, I think email the conference cells and somebody will see it and we will forward it to who it needs to be forwarded to.
Okay.
And again, if you have questions about, if it's a Whova thing, then we will probably ask Robert. If we can't answer that, we will forward you there, if you don't mind, Robert.
Yeah,
and if
fine.
it's okay, if it's a video thing to help you, make your videos and if just transferring it to YouTube or something like that, we could help you there. Really encourage you to do that. I just learned that you guys are going to have, people are going to have access to your booth for 4 months. That's awesome. So that's really exciting. Anything else, Aaron? Any comments, questions?
Only question I have is for just security sensitivity. Is it only people registered for the conference that would have access to the videos? Or I'm just thinking about how much Christian content to put into our China University opportunities.
Yeah, so anyone that is registered for the event and has logged into the platform can see the videos or the handouts or anything on here. No one else will be able to log in or view anything if they're not registered for the events.
Okay, good. And then I missed the first minute or two. Are participants using Whova in person as well with an app? I did Whova with Business for Transformation 4 years ago, and it was online, but I don't know what the in-person people do.
So I have used it online, in person before, and what it will be all the sessions will be there. It will tell you what room to go to. And then I just learned that we will use it to capture leads as well. So you'll have your phone there and people will have the QR code. So yes, you can scan people's QR code if you can ask them if that's okay. And that's how you'll collect leads that way.
Okay.
But you can also communicate with them. So any discussion boards, think about what kind of conversations you want to raise. And I think it's a neat way to connect to people. So it's something that wasn't available to us before, something like this. So it's good. All right. Then it's a wrap. Thank you for being here.